All right, listeners, get ready to deep dive into the world of business consulting with us today.
It's going to be a good one.
It is going to be a good one because we are talking about consultant visits to companies.
You know the ones.
You got it.
We've all seen them.
And, we asked you all for some input on this one, and you sent in some really fascinating notes from this document
Yeah.
called Visitas del Asesor a la Empresa, which roughly translates to consultant visits to the company.
Sounds pretty straightforward, right?
At first glance, I thought,
Yeah.
okay, scheduling objectives.
Easy peasy.
Got it.
But
There's more to it.
there's so much more, and I'm excited to unpack it all with you today.
Me too.
So the document outlines 6 key objectives for these visits.
Okay.
Evaluation, advising, negotiation, training, follow-up, and other.
That's always my favorite category.
Right, like what goes into that?
Yeah.
But I think a good place to start is evaluation, because what really struck me was how the document emphasizes going beyond just, the surface level stuff. Oh, absolutely. It's not just about crunching numbers or looking at spreadsheets. It's about really understanding the company's culture,
Okay.
their values, their goals, even their fears.
So it's like you're saying it's almost like an anthropological expedition.
Exactly. You've got it.
You're not just observing a company, you're trying to really understand.
Yeah, like what makes them tick?
What makes them tick?
Why do they do things the way they do?
And once you have that understanding, then...
Well, then the real work begins, right?
Yeah.
That's where the consultant's expertise comes in. They take all those observations and they turn them into actionable advice.
So it's not just about identifying problems, it's about coming up with solutions.
Exactly. And the solutions need to be tailored to that specific company.
Okay, so let's say a consultant notices that a company's really struggling to implement new ideas.
Okay.
Even if everyone agrees, verbally that they're good ideas, what then?
Well, in that case, the consultant might dig a little deeper and find that there's a deep-seated fear of failure within the company culture.
So the advice wouldn't just be more innovative. It would be about addressing that fear, maybe suggesting ways to build psychological safety or even rewarding calculated risk-taking.
So it's like you're almost like a therapist for the company.
You could say that.
Instead of addressing individual anxieties, you're tackling these cultural roadblocks.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
It makes this whole advising objective so much more complex than I initially thought.
Right. It's not just about giving orders. It's about working with the company to find the best way forward.
And that brings us to negotiation, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's not just a one-way street.
Nope.
The document really emphasizes that this is a collaborative process.
Yeah, finding solutions together, that might involve, discussing different approaches, managing expectations, and of course, negotiating contracts.
Right, because ultimately both the consultant and the company need to be on the same page.
Exactly.
Reading through these objectives, it really feels like there's this constant cycle of assessment, action, and adaptation. That's a great observation.
Like training leads to follow-up, and then evaluation,
Yeah.
and then the cycle starts all over again.
Exactly. It's a continuous process of improvement.
And what's so crucial is that each visit, each interaction is tailored to the specific needs of everyone involved.
Right. The consultant, the business, and even the intern, if there is one.
Because you're not going to approach a tech startup the same way you would a manufacturing giant, right?
Exactly. Each company has its own unique challenges and opportunities.
It's like a bespoke suit versus a one-size-fits-all.
Perfect analogy.
But speaking of fitting in the document, also really stresses those soft skills.
Oh, yeah.
Being prepared, professional, respectful.
It's all about that human element. You can be the most brilliant consultant in the world, but if you can't build rapport and trust with the people you're working with, you're not going to get very far.
Because at the end of the day, you're not just dealing with a company.
You're dealing with people.
You're dealing with people.
Real people with their own personalities and perspectives.
You're not just dropping off a report. You're building a relationship.
Precisely.
And something else that really stood out to me was the document's emphasis on involving interns in these visits.
Oh, I love that.
It's such a fantastic learning opportunity for them.
Absolutely. And, they can often bring a fresh perspective to the table.
Right. They're not bogged down by the same assumptions or ways of thinking.
You can challenge the status quo.
So it's really a win-win. The intern gains experience, the consultant gets fresh insights, and the business potentially benefits from a new way of thinking.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. So what do you think, listeners? How could you apply this type of collaborative approach in your own work?
Something to think about.
And, we can't forget about that other category.
Right, the catch-all.
It's like the miscellaneous drawer of consulting objectives.
But it's an important one.
It is, because it speaks to those less tangible but equally valuable aspects of consulting, like building your network,
Yeah.
strengthening the company's brand, even identifying potential future collaborations.
It's about maximizing the impact of that visit beyond just the immediate objectives.
It's like planting seeds for future growth.
Exactly.
So I guess the main takeaway here is that these consultant visits are far more multifaceted than they might appear on the surface.
Right. It's not just about showing up, giving a presentation, and calling it a day.
There's so much more to it.
It's about understanding a company's culture, collaborating on solutions, empowering employees, building relationships, really unlocking a company's full potential.
It really is a deep dive. And I hope this is giving you all a new appreciation for what goes on behind the scenes of these consultant visits.
Me too.
So next time you hear about a consultant visiting a company,
Yeah.
remember there's a whole world of strategy, psychology, and human interaction at play.
It's more than just a handshake. It's a journey.
Well said. Well said.
Thanks.
And that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.
Until next time,
Yeah.
happy consulting, everyone.
Bye.